We now move to a Halloween story. What were you doing on Sunday, the 31st of October? The world was celebrating Halloween. Streets were decorated with pumpkins. There were parties at clubs and homes. People were going all out with their Halloween costumes and gothic makeup. Children around the world were serving trick-or-treats. Thanks to marketing in Hollywood, it's now apparently an international festival, Halloween. So while everyone was having a blast trying to ward off ghosts, horror came to life in Japan. A train was attacked by a joker. He went around stabbing passengers with a knife before setting the train on fire. And this happened for real. And it happened in Tokyo. It was around 8 p.m. local time. A train was returning from the western suburb of Shibuya. Almost everyone on the train was returning from Halloween parties. They were all dressed up in spooky costumes. In walks a joker. He's carrying a knife with artificial blood stains and a plastic bottle which is filled with lighter fluid, the liquid that you use in lighters. Once the doors are sealed and the train begins moving, the joker goes rogue. He starts stabbing people. He sprays lighter liquid around the carriage. Before you know it, the joker has set the car on fire. Imagine the scene playing out. It's a Halloween nightmare coming to life. One witness thought that this was all a Halloween stunt, but soon there were people getting injured, there were flames, there was smoke everywhere. People were panicking, praying. Someone brought the train to an emergency stop, but its doors were still closed. How could passengers hide from the killer joker? Some managed to jump out of the window, some fainted. Take a look, it took 30 minutes to put out the fire. 17 people were injured. As the commotion ended, the joker was found sitting alone on a train seat. He was smoking a cigarette. Look at him, as if he's marveling at the success of his attack. Here's what happened next. The police entered the train. The joker, his name is Hattori, was arrested. And this was just the beginning of the story. A series of interesting conversations followed. The joker was asked, why did he attack innocent people on a train? His answer was that he, quote unquote, wanted to kill a lot of people. Next question, why? Because things were not going well with work and friends, so he wanted to kill people and get the death sentence. You look surprised, I'm not. Full disclosure, by now I'm getting used to such weird stories coming out of Japan. Not too long ago, we told you about Japan's elderly who shoplift just so that they're spoken to. Just so that they can have some human interaction, they go shoplifting. Japan sometimes is like a Freudian Pandora's box. You never know what comes out of it. It's a classic case for those looking to research on human psychology and the different ways in which our human minds act out. Anyway, that's a story for another day. Let's get back to the joker. He was identified as a 24-year-old. The name is Kyota Hattori. He said he quit his job in the month of June. He moved from one city to another, all the while meticulously planning an attack. He bought a knife online. He picked up 4 liters of lighter fluid. And then he headed for Tokyo. He reached the city in October. By then, the city was gearing up for Halloween. So Hattori picked Halloween as his D-Day. On Sunday, while the world was getting ready for Halloween parties, this man left his hotel dressed as a joker. He took a train to the Shibuya district. The area is famous for its Halloween street parties. On reaching Shibuya, Hattori got on a train that was heading back to Tokyo. And you know what happened next, what he did on the train. So why did he choose to dress up as a joker? He said he adored the character of Joker in the Batman series. Now, those of you who watched the movie will remember that it had a very similar scene. It's a 2019 movie, Joker. Joaquin Phoenix attacks men on a train after being harassed by them. The scene marks Phoenix's transformation as a joker. And Hattori is a Joker fan, but he says his inspiration for this particular attack was not just the movie. It was also an incident in August. A man in Tokyo stabbed 10 passengers on a commuter train. This was around the time of the Olympics. Hattori wanted to replicate this. He wanted to stage a horror on wheels. And trains, as you might be aware, are the most popular mode of transport in Japan. They've also proved to be a popular site for attacks. Some involving knives, some acid, some even involving nerve agents. You may remember the sarin gas attack. It was in 1995. A cult called Aum Shinrikyo had attacked the Tokyo subway system with a nerve agent called sarin. 14 people died, more than 6,000 were injured. Also, what happened in Tokyo was not the only horror incident on Halloween this time. In the US, there were at least 11 attacks across 7 states. 12 people died, more than 52 injured. This Halloween was scary for real. Perhaps it mirrored the year gone by. You know, the Wuhan virus and everything else that followed? People lost their jobs, many lost family or the will to live. This joker, for example, he said nothing was going well for him, so he wanted to die. Killing lots of people was his way of securing death. It's twisted. And this is how the human mind sometimes acts out in times of distress. Some slip into depression, some go rogue. Japan, like I mentioned, is a classic case for studying human psychology. In 2020, when the Wuhan virus struck Japan, a record number of people committed suicide. And then there are people like Hattori who try to kill others because they wanted to die. WION is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news on the move.